Folks, we are live again on the Late Night Grin. You're looking at Jack Crosby in the confirmed shoot because Joe Holbert is asleep. He has not seen any of. Well, actually, I don't know if he's asleep, but he has not watched Dynamite yet. I do know that for certain.
He is. Oh shit!
Yeah, his phone's turned off, so we haven't spoiled anything for him in the group. I figured that out because he's got an iPhone, and so when I send him the messages, they turn green and it says send his text message.
Oh,
all right.
I got the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why. Okay. All right.
So it's like, he's not watching tonight, which fair. He's still recovering from whatever that nonsense we did on Monday was. Jack, how you feeling, man?
What a fucking night, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, people shit all over Tony's announcements regardless. And like I said, people don't realize how big this actually is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there who don't understand. And they might have been quick with the trigger to be like, oh, another letdown. It's like, no. If everything goes to plan, I mean, financially for Tony Khan, and we should stress that too, because from what that release, the press release said, AEW does not own Ring of Honor. Tony bought Ring of Honor through a separate entity of his.
Yeah.
So I should say not financially. I mean, technically Tony's money can go to AEW, obviously, but I mean, like financially for Tony Khan, this could be really, really massive. And I mean, we'll get to it, but everybody should know that the key part of this is the video library.
That's the key part as far as financially.
Yeah.
Cass's report, which is hilarious because it's like this. This is the first time I think since I've started doing this that I've nailed like every aspect of a story just guessing.
You did.
I nailed the Ring of Honor purchase. I nailed the developmental territory, and they're going to use their actual AEW talent now and then as well. I do hope that this doesn't turn into like a full split, like NXT, where you got to get called up to AEW. Like I hope,
right?
Like Lee Moriarty, for example, could be Ring of Honor champion, but he could also still show up on a Rampage or a Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like I don't want it to ever be fully split.
Yeah, because with anything AEW, you don't want to copy WWE too much, and something like that would be too much of the old NXT. Right. I mean, I guess you could still say the new NXT, but it'd be too much. Yeah, but you're right though. It'd be too much of the old. Like you could, like you said, have Ring of Honor champion Lee Moriarty wrestle on Rampage, Dynamite.
It's gonna be fascinating, man. Like, and this is like, I don't celebrate ratings or celebrate money because it's not my money, but these things fascinate me. Like, okay, where's it going to air? Is it going to be on YouTube? Are they going to get a TV deal? Are they keeping this Sinclair deal? Because that makes a lot of sense to me too. Of Sinclair being like, look, we'll steer the programming. We don't have to, you know what I mean? We don't have to pay anything for it,
right?
Or even saying we'll give you, a percentage of what we were going to pay to produce this television anyway. There's so many options here, man, and there's so much young talent in AEW that can get some shine here.
Yeah, because like we've talked about it too. Like AEW's loaded, top to bottom, between veterans, young guys, trainees, and everything like that. And it actually has gotten to the point where not even Dynamite and Rampage are enough.
Yeah, exactly.
And that had it kept going down that road, that was a bad thing. Because then, like we've seen the stuff on the with whether taken out of context or not, but like the shit with Sheeta talking about catering, and then people even if they just took it out of context or whatever, but the reality is there are a lot of people backstage at these Dynamites and Rampage. Well, Dynamite Rampage usually same night, but they're backstage doing nothing.
Yeah.
And maybe the YouTube shows, and that's where it becomes tricky, Matt, right? Because with the name brand Ring of Honor, we just talked about it being like a developmental sort of, but I think the name brand alone means you kind of have to elevate it a step above dark.
Oh yeah, I think it'll be high. Yeah.
Like it has to be above that level.
Yeah, I think they'll go. I think it'll be. I think the TV will be actual matches. I don't think we'll see a lot of like. We may see a little bit of like the squash stuff and things like that, which is basically what the YouTube shows are. I think it's going to be more about just more opportunities for more people. This could be a big thing for the women.
Very big.
And Deanna's the Ring of Honor champion, women's champion. So that's fascinating.
That's huge right there because that was my next question. Like all of these ROH contracts expired or are expiring.
Right.
So like, does Tony have to sign these people to different deals, or is he just going to float them in and out like on pay per appearances or shit like that? Like that's like, there's so much we don't know yet.
Right.
Because
this is going to be a fascinating story to watch develop. How long is it going to take them to ramp it up? Because you feel like Super Card of Honor would kind of be the launch.
And, you know, and I do have to give AEW, you know, everybody was almost certain that Tony's big announcement was the HBO Max thing.
Yeah.
Everyone
I even started to talk, like I made some tweets and then I was like, wait, I'm sticking with my initial thing and I deleted them.
That's why I legitimately popped at the TV when he just said, I bought Ring of Honor. Yeah. I was like, what? Are you shitting me? And then, obviously, then to go, okay, and now here's Bryan Danielson versus Christopher Daniels.
And how good was that, man?
Really?
Like, Daniels, he had a couple times before he stopped wrestling in AEW where it looked like, you know, it's about time for him to stop. But, man, he looked awesome tonight.
I think Chris Daniels is just a guy, and I think your point proves it right. I think Chris Daniels is a guy. Don't put him on TV regularly.
Right.
Give the dude some breaks. But if you give whatever, how old is Daniels now? 47? 51?
Yeah.
I wasn't even going to go over 50. Give him some breaks. And if you put a fresh Daniels in the ring, he's still freaking great.
He's
so good.
He's someone who could actually play a big role for Ring of Honor as well.
Yes.
As far as, I don't know about booking. I don't know, because that's the other. Someone in the chat mentioned it, and I think this is important. I've talked about this before, but not with you, Jack. Tony running this brand is a terrible idea.
I agree, 100%. We're on the same page there. Hand this off to someone else.
Yes. I don't know who. I have some ideas. William Regal.
In a perfect world, and I don't think it's going to happen because I think he's going to go back to WWE at some point. But it'd be cool to see Danielson, like when he's ready to hang it up, just be like, "Hey, man, you want to run this?" Yeah. But again, and look, I'm not trying to get it, but I think most people agree. Brian's going back to WWE at some point. He's doing this for a few years. He's going back. Like, he hasn't said a bad word about the place. Him and Vince are obviously, we found out, are best friends. Like, he's probably going back. But in a perfect world, I'd love to see Brian just take it over.
Yeah. And this is a great point too. You could turn Ring of Honor into a developmental across the board. You know, give some people opportunities to see what they can do. This is an interesting name.
Hey, not bad. I like that. Because it seems like Dustin knows what he's doing behind the scenes. We haven't really heard anything to the contrary.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And then who knows what the structure of AEW is by the time something like this happens that we're talking about, you know? So then
I think QT, I think, is doing more than people realize he's doing right now. As far as
QT might be a guy that Tony says, "Hey man, all right, this Ring of Honor thing's yours."
Yeah.
Or like most of it's yours. Or you and Dustin, this is your baby. Take care of it.
To address, if you haven't, I don't know if everyone's seen Cassidy's report on Body Slam. If you haven't, go check it out. But the word is that Ring of Honor is going to be a developmental territory for AEW, with the plan that quote unquote main roster AEW talent would also make appearances. I don't know. It's going to be fascinating, man. There's so many things you could do. Jonathan Gresham versus Daniel Garcia for the Ring of Honor championship.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah. So, because that Gresham's an interesting one to me. You know, are they going to try to sign him? Are they going to keep him in the fold? Or
now I'm starting to think, what was it last week at Dynamite? Gresham was backstage.
Yeah,
I think he was backstage to talk to Tony.
Yeah, this is
like now. I think that's pretty much guaranteed. He was backstage to talk to Tony, and I think that Gresham was one of the few people Tony said, "Look, listen, I'm going to have this purchase done in a week. Okay, so what do you want to do? Where are we going with you? How do you want to handle this?"
Here's the hilarious thing, and I mean, we know why, but still on the surface, Tony paid considerably more for Ring of Honor than Vince McMahon did for WCW.
I know. I know.
That's Cass, I think, said between 30 and 40 million.
I don't think you and I understood at the time with how old we were, but like, man, AOL Time Warner really just wanted to dump professional.
Oh yeah, they just dumped that thing, man.
Like we were too young to, I think, fully realize the whole deal. But now that we're adults, it's like they really just wanted nothing to do with professional wrestling. So much so they just told Vince, "Here, give us pennies and just take it."
Like, man, and this is we're going to talk about Dynamite too, guys. We're going to get there because this is a hell of a show. But Jack and I are old folks who are just incredibly fascinated by the business side of this right now. I think we're on the same page here. Because there's so many aspects of this that are going to be so cool to see how they play out. I think the streaming service thing and that announcement may still be coming within the next few weeks. I hope that'd be awesome.
I think it will, but obviously something's not locked in yet with regards to that, because like everyone's been saying, getting the ROH library is leverage.
Yes. You have way more content now.
So he's obviously still talking to people, but now, and then the hardest part might be he's going to have to explain to these TV executives why the ROH library is so valuable. Like, he's going to have to pitch to these people, look, if I can, on demand, they can watch Glory by Honor 2007 whenever they want, you know, this is going to go nuts. And then obviously the Holy Grail here is All In.
Yeah. That's a huge aspect of it.
And that's something Tony's always wanted for obvious reasons.
The one thing he's got that's going to help him a lot with pitching this is he can, you know, this is tons of CM Punk footage, who is their top highest paid star they have in AEW. This is tons of Bryan Danielson footage. So that's an easier sell, I think, to say, look, we've got all these guys that are on our roster. This is going to accentuate what we already have. And that was in the press release. It's like he said he's already exploring ways to capitalize on this footage.
He wants to get this shit up ASAP.
Yeah.
Like, he wants us to be able to sit here, like I said, and watch Death Before Dishonor 2004.
And I will say, man, because I've hardly seen any of it. I will check it out. Like, I'm not going to watch it like in order or anything like that, but I'll definitely watch stuff.
Exactly. And like, that's where a good example in here for one of the few times not going to bust his balls. But like, before all the ROH stuff happened, our buddy Bob O'Neill was getting into exploring the history of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
And then the poor bastard, everything shut down on him. But now someone like Bob, or just like you, he can go back and watch all the stuff that I always talk about on here on these shows when I'm on with you guys. When I say, holy shit, I remember this. And he could go watch Homicide beat Danielson for the title in the Manhattan Center.
You know those tweets Impact does during AEW and WWE shows where they tweet out matches? They could do that for WWE stuff. Like Tyler Black versus Kevin Steen, which I assume happened. I don't know. They throw that link up.
They should. You know what? They should totally. And Tony might tell the social media people, fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I mean, they may be. I'm still firmly of the belief, and I know, Jack, this will be disappointing to you, but I'm still firmly of the belief that the pay-per-views will not come with this.
I think they will. See, I disagree. Because
I hope. I mean, obviously, I hope they do, but that's a lot of money.
I think beginning with Double or Nothing. At the beginning with Double or Nothing, they're going to say, because I know my tweet from this morning about better be HBO Max and I better be able to watch Sunday. Like most, that was me being a smartass. I'd pass the time during my busy days at work and be a smartass about professional wrestling on Twitter.
Yeah.
But because that was impossible because there are people who already paid $50 so you can't tell people.
Right.
But I do think that beginning with Double or Nothing, I just think, Matt, you can't have one mainstream company saying, here's our stuff on Peacock for what is it, $6 a month or whatever. You can watch all of our shows, including friggin' WrestleMania, and you can't be the other mainstream promotion, even 4 times a year, going, give us $50. You just can't do it.
I think the issue there is they've proven they can do it, though. I mean, they're doing. It all comes down to. It all comes down to money. If they're going to give them the money, then they'll do it. I tweeted when I made my tweet, which I deleted. I said 60 million, which ended up I did the math wrong. That's high.
Yeah,
but it is like $30 million. So you got to think, if they're moving to HBO Max, that deal's got to be what, at least 50 million a year.
And but again, I don't know. Obviously, Tony's relationship with the people at Warner Media is pretty good because they keep giving him stuff and asking for stuff.
Right.
Well, maybe this will be the test at how much that relationship's grown. Because if they give him the money and say, all right, all these shows, all these popular shows, your Double or Nothings, Revolutions, Full Gears, we'll put them on HBO Max.
I think Ring of Honor is going to be on the streaming service, like the show they produce.
Yeah.
I think that's where that's going to end up.
And maybe the hope is you do that. And then, again, a relationship with Warner Media, then you could say a few times a year even, can we put a Ring of Honor show on TNT?
Yeah.
Can we, like a pay-per-view type thing, a big card can we put a 2-hour Ring of Honor show on a Saturday night,
Final Battle?
Yeah. That'd be awesome. I just, the thing is, he's a quirky guy. And look, here's another thing. I really wish that guy wouldn't make announcements on his own.
Yeah, I think this one he needed to do, though, but I know exactly what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Oh my God. My wife even goes, oh, is he awkward? And I said, yeah, that's who he is. He's a nerdy wrestling fan. Like he's just like us. He's a nerd, but no, I think that for all, like Tony Khan, I said this to a friend of mine at work tonight. I said, for all his quirks and his faults, which he's had some that we've talked about, this man has been nothing but good for professional wrestling.
Yeah,
100%. since he jumped in the pool. From the day he jumped in the pool, this man has been nothing but good for pro wrestling.
The fun thing with him is, like when stuff would happen with WWE and we'd do this wild speculation, we knew that most of what we were talking about was never going to happen.
Right.
With him, who the hell knows, man? Like, he might do any of this stuff.
Shit, man. But AEW started when people were like, maybe this will bring CM Punk back to wrestling. No, he's done. He's done. And then there we were last August going, well, look at this. Holy shit. Hey, this would be a great place to see Bryan Danielson work again. It'll never happen.
I do agree with this, that they easily could have just announced this on social media, but I think this one actually worked. Again, he's awkward, but they were in the right place for it. I mean, the crowd cheered it. They transitioned it right into Danielson versus Daniels, which was smart. The original match was a triple threat with Low Key, right?
Yeah. And Low Key won.
He got the Chris Benoit erasure treatment tonight.
They did really bring it across like it was Danielson versus Daniels for the fucking first ROH title. No, fucking Low Key won that, man. I gotta hate that little prick. Oh, I can't stand that dude.
Yeah.
Somebody posted the clip the other night of him kicking Ziggler in the face and knocking him out cold.
I forgot about that.
I haven't seen that clip in years, dude. And I watched it, and it was one of those where they played, like the GIF played in regular time, then it played again in slow motion on a replay. Like he fucking kicked Dolph. Like Dolph should have woken up and beat the shit out of that little prick. And Dolph, a national champion wrestler, could have stretched the shit out of fake tough guy Low Key. Like that's why I kept saying, I was like, Dolph should have got up and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, that would actually be a fun fight to watch happen, like for real.
Dude, no, I know he cracked it. I watched Ziggler wrestle in college. I looked up. He's legit.
Yeah.
If there's ever a scrap, I think Ziggler's one of those few guys, he could hold his own, and he's one of those wrestling guys where you look and you're like, that guy ain't tough. I think Ziggler can whoop some ass if he needs to.
Yeah, this is I agree with this completely. We try not to go too far into like bootlicking and going, but like it's real. Like I've said it a million times. Without AEW, I'm probably not watching wrestling anymore. And now we're in this weird world where we're probably going to have a whole separate promotion within their universe.
Yeah,
and who knows what? Like the possibilities are endless. Like we may see a Ring of Honor title match on a pay-per-view, or at least on the buy-in. I mean, who knows what they're going to do?
Well, I was one of those people that back when we were big in our NXT days and shit, like I was one of the people who advocated. I was like, yeah, I get the takeovers. Put an NXT title match on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Even if you picked one, like put the NXT women's title, put it on the actual WrestleMania card in the stadium to help get that brand some exposure. And they never freaking did it. But now you're right. Like throw an ROH title match on Double or Nothing. And I don't even think necessarily the buy-in, Matt. Like just like
I mean, you don't have to do it. That was just like I was trying to be as simple as I
throw it in the middle of the card.
Especially depending on because if they're like, can you imagine if Eddie Kingston wins the Ring of Honor World Title?
Because
because there's a story there.
Yeah. Because let's say, for example, these are two different brands with two different audiences, right? Let's say like the ROH audience, wherever the show's tape, what have you, is different than that from Dynamite's Rampages. And say you put an ROH title match and you throw your ROH champion or challenger out there and you're like, holy shit, the crowd really loves this guy.
Yeah.
Huh. And then, like you said, maybe not the call-up system, but you go to them and say, okay, you're going to be up here at our quote-unquote main roster pretty soon because these people like you. Like, you're good. So you're gonna stay with us now.
Yeah. And it's like they could do basically what they're doing with these Universal tapings. Joe brought this up, and I think I agree with him. Since it's Ring of Honor, I would not do it at Universal. I would do it. ECW Arena would be a good place.
I was going to say, see if you can get somewhere in Philly.
You could also tour it, though. You don't have to do it in the same place every month.
Because I'm not sure. Like, I don't like obviously for wrestling, but like ROH would tour to some weird places. Like they kind of got it. They used to make that mistake. They'd get ahead of themselves a lot. It was kind of like when New Japan, when they came to the United States and they chose friggin' California, which was a horrible mistake. Like they were on the completely wrong coast, New Japan.
Right.
They should have been East Coast. They go to friggin' California. And
that was mostly for travel reasons, right?
I think so. But and
plus they have a dojo out there.
It was just a disaster.
Yeah.
Because they just went to the wrong fan base to start the US expansion off. But no, if you're ROH, try Philly, somewhere in New York, anything East Coast. Stick on the East Coast for now. See if you could set up shop there. But I don't know, man. This is going to be fun.
This could be the end of Dark, but Tony has made it pretty adamant he's a content guy. He's a big believer in producing a lot of content.
Because that's what you need today.
I kind of think they're going to keep doing Dark, and this is going to be
a
separate thing. So they'll do the Universal Dark taping. I definitely hope they do, because basically the way I picture it is, you've got your Ring of Honor brand, you tape it once a month like they used to do the Full Sail tapings for NXT.
Yeah.
And if you're going to, like, let's say you're going to do Eddie Kingston is going to be in Ring of Honor for a month and there's going to be a story arc for Eddie. Well, then you give him a month off from touring with AEW. You don't have to do that, but for example, that's kind of makes it a plus for the talent too, is say, hey, you're still going to be involved because you're going to be on this Ring of Honor show and people are going to see you, but you get a month off. You work once or twice that one day, and then you get a month off. So that's an aspect they could. There's so many possibilities. Really are endless here. I mean, they could do so many things. They could turn this into, I mean, they really could tour it. I don't think they will. I don't think that's the best idea. But
Well,
you could. I mean, I do think you could tape once a month in different towns every time. I think you could do that.
Tape it once a month because Tony Khan is a businessman, and if he does want to try to turn Ring of Honor into something profitable, at first he's going to do everything to cut costs or keep costs low on production.
Right.
Don't spend. He's not going to spend too much in the beginning to try to get this thing off the ground. And I think that with the rabid fan base of AEW, combined with the Ring of Honor name, I don't think it's going to be long until it takes off a little bit.
Yeah, I think it'll have some kind of buzz. And this is I get this point, but there isn't a Ring of Honor roster right now. I would expect that a lot of the people in this Ring of Honor roster are already in AEW. Guys like Lee Johnson, Brock Anderson, Julia Hart. I'm trying to think of more on the women's side who need Kiera Hogan. I mean, there's a lot of them, but there's, I think you will see they'll bring in a few people as Ring of Honor veterans or, to give some kind of connection to the old Ring of Honor.
Joe
would make a ton. Sky Blue, it's a great example. AQA, who they just signed. I think Roxy's going to WWE. Diamante. They could do a lot with the women.
Yeah, some of the Ring of Honor people, Gresham, I think obviously you got to lock up with. I mean, Gresham, I think, is a mainstream star. So Gresham, somebody I think you sign and eventually bring to AEW full time.
Yeah, you mean I know opinions are varied on him. I think we're definitely going to get Danielson versus Gresham in some form somewhere.
And now it's funny because we just clamored for Gresham, but now whatever this ROH banner is and whatever it looks like, which I'm sure Tony will probably try to keep the look the same. I'd do that match in Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it on the AEW side. I'd do it in the ROH side. People would eat that up, me being one of them. Punk will do some ROH stuff.
Depends on where they air it.
Yeah, that's true.
Punk ain't doing a show that 100,000 people are watching. It's just kind of like when they asked him about the YouTube shows, and he's just like, "No, I'm not doing that."
Man, the contrast between him and Danielson really is funny.
Yeah,
it really is great. They're they're on the Mount Rushmore of this generation. Those two, Punk and Danielson. And their views on some things are just completely friggin' opposite.
Yeah, very different. Claudio would be another interesting one who you could involve here.
Oh, I got something to maybe not, I don't know, maybe not so much run this ROH side, but some sort of executive type Chris Hero.
Yeah.
Maybe you call Hero.
That would be an interesting one.
And you say, all right, because I'm getting, look, I'm at the point with Chris Hero. I understand he might not be able to wrestle again or wrestle at the level he once did. But that guy not being involved in some sort of major promotion in some way is kind of egregious. Now, if it's his own, if that's his own choice, then okay, fine, I respect that. But Chris Hero by now should be making good money running some shit backstage for somebody.
Yeah, I agree with you. He'd be an interesting one. I'm trying to think. Somebody else said something. I didn't see what it was, but
oh well, I did see a comment. It was a while back, but everyone wanted trios titles in ROH or in AEW. Well, there now you got them.
True. Let me find it. I want to find the exact.
Let me just say I hate trios titles. I'm sorry. I don't care. I hate trios titles.
I think it could work in AEW.
I don't know, man. I guess it could. Yeah, maybe ROH soured me on and New Japan because even Japan, because they used to toss those things around like hotcakes. I think they still do.
So yeah, just to Again, this is a Cassidy Hayes report from bodyslam.net. When asking around about the sale of Ring of Honor and plans for the company going forward, sources confirmed to me that internal plans call for AEW to utilize Ring of Honor as a developmental territory of sorts. Additionally, it was said that quote-unquote main roster AEW talent will be dipping into the ROH brand on occasion. Which I think is what you have to do. Like, I don't think the Ring of Honor roster as it stood when the promotion and is you can't do like some kind of invasion angle and
No.
I mean they're not you can't present them as being equals in any way, shape, or form. I mean that's just
I mean Impact's trying to do that right now. And
yeah. Well, the Impact lost to them, so
yeah, I had no interest in it. And I'm somebody like I might not watch Impact on a regular basis, but if I look on Twitter and I see something that piques my interest, I might be like, all right, I'm gonna pay attention to this for a little bit. I have not once paid attention to anything involving that Impact. Matter of fact, like I knew from the beginning, I said Eddie Edwards is gonna turn on Impact. I did, like I knew it weeks ago, and then when I saw it the other night or whenever that show was, I said, "No shit, no, don't do." That's one thing. If I could advise, don't do any just don't do any ROH takeovers. Don't do invasions and shit like that. Just run the company, man.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna present it as a warring. I think Ring of Honor is gonna exist within the AEW world.
Well, yeah, you know what? Knowing Tony Khan and the way his brain works, if they were going to do some sort of invasion thing, he wouldn't have announced that he bought Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, I don't. This is. I keep like Lee Johnson's one of the main guys that I think about in a situation like this because that guy is fucking so good, and I think a lot of people don't even realize it. Because he doesn't even have like the indie buzz like a Moriarty or Garcia but man, like he had a match with Ben Carter on Dark, which has been 2 years ago now, close to awesome. He's had a couple other ones, and of course I can't remember what they are now, but that guy's good. Like seeing him, Josh Woods has already worked for them a couple times, so that could be someone who they keep in the fold.
I saw Garcia beat Woods.
Yeah.
Did you see the tweet from Garcia?
Yeah. The problem is Sean Spears already beat him a month ago in much more convincing fashion.
It was just funny though. I guess I'm the ROH Pure Champion now.
Yeah. Yeah. This is I don't know. It's going to be fun to see how this. I think it makes a lot of sense to kind of try to launch this thing after Supercard of Honor. I think you'll start to see some more AEW talent get announced for that. Swerve already's on there.
I saw that, yeah.
So but I think we'll see some more. I would guess Deanna will probably lose the title to someone who's under contract to AEW at that show. Have they announced? They haven't announced her match yet, right?
I don't think so. Not that I remember.
Then that'll be a fascinating choice. Like, do you go with someone who, like, you could do Statlander? That would be a hell of a. She doesn't really need to be a.
Ruby fits the mold.
Ruby would be
of
that
an
would
ROH
be cool.
Women's Champion. I think
that would be really cool.
I think Ruby'd be good. I think she would perfectly fit that profile of an ROH Women's Champion.
See, I can't see any way this is going to happen.
Dude, Tony Khan owns Ring of Honor. And we haven't even begun any sort of significant thing with New Japan yet.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
That's coming too as they start to get more.
As that opens up, it's coming.
Yep.
It's coming.
I agree with this. Like, I think that's going to happen, though. I think they're going to. I think this will have. I think it'll be a standalone brand.
Yeah,
they'll build the stuff and they'll have. I would love to. You could do a. I talked about this for something else, but it would work for Ring of Honor. You could do a live special before the pay-per-view because they do Rampage live before the pay-per-view, and Rampage is an hour.
Yeah.
So you basically you'd be saying you're going to get the live Ring of Honor special from 8 to 10, which is going to air wherever we air it. And then you're going to get Rampage from 10 to 11.
Yeah.
And that's your ticket. That's awesome. That's a great deal.
I think that's freaking great.
And then you're getting your Ring of Honor specials in big arenas. I mean, I think that would make a lot of sense. Yeah, Briscoe's FTR seems like that's definitely going to happen at
Buddy, when they show up with those ROH tag titles, that place is going to explode. Just do it in the right city. Holy shit, man. I
think that's the I wouldn't be surprised at all if FTR wins those belts now.
Because
they're kind of doing that. Like that's the way that's how you can kind of get the brand some buzz, and then you kind of start to transition it into what you're really going to do. Is you kind of get your higher, like if you put the Ring of Honor women's title on Ruby, and you put the Ring of Honor tag titles on FTR, and they only hold them for a couple months, and then they drop them to somebody who you're really high on, and that's where you kind of transition it.
Yeah,
that would be great. And then you could probably keep Gresham and keep the belt on him. Garcia makes so much sense for like Gresham's first feud.
Whatever a first big Ring of Honor show is. I'm not talking Super Card of Honor.
Right.
That's different. Like forget that. Forget Super Card of Honor. Although maybe don't forget, it looks like a good show. So watch it. But the first one under this whole new AEW thing, I think you 1,000% have to run Garcia Gresham. I don't even give a shit who wins. Keep the title on Gresham. Doesn't have to be Garcia. But that I think that 100% has to be the first main event. Yeah. Unless you get like Joe.
Right.
If Joe wants to do it against Gresham or something, then you make it. But
I think Garcia makes a lot of sense as a Ring of Honor world champion.
Oh, if you're gonna, let's say hypothetically, Tony Khan does want Gresham on the AEW roster full time, and you say, all right, we got to get that belt off you. Garcia's the guy.
Yeah,
100%.
So I don't think this would be. Fans aren't as dumb as WWE thinks they are. It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The IWGP US title shows up out of nowhere every once in a while, and there's no real issues there. Plus, they're going to want to, they're going to advertise Ring of Honor on Dynamite and Rampage. It's not going to be a thing where...
You compare WWE there. Like Vince McMahon and WWE buy shit just to have shit.
Right.
Okay. Tony Khan is not going to spend the amount of money he did for Ring of Honor just to throw it in the trash.
Right.
That's not going to happen here. He's not like, this is two different, like WWE is just broken everyone's friggin' brains with the way they do business. And I tweeted it tonight. My main thing, and I said it on the show when we were talking about it, I was scared to death when Ring of Honor pretty much announced, well, we're on life support. I said WWE is going to scrape up that that video library, and it's going to get buried on Peacock, and we're done. Like, I am so happy that Tony Khan got his hands on that before they did, and before people say, well, WWE wasn't going to go after. Yes, they were. They 1,000% were going to go after that video library. And I bet you they called about it.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
They definitely called about it.
The report that I saw, I think was Sean's report, was that WWE thought that this was AEW buying a Japanese library that wasn't New Japan. So I don't know how they pulled that off, but they apparently hid this from WWE as well.
Man, you know what? It's definitely not Vince McMahon personally, because I really don't think he gives a shit. Like, I'll be honest with you. But there are high-level people in WWE who despise Tony Khan.
Yeah.
Cannot stomach him. No, Vince isn't one of them. I don't think Vince friggin' knows who he is. Maybe Vince has heard his name a few times. Like, I don't think Vince gives a shit. But there are other high-up people who cannot stand this motherfucker.
That's probably true, yeah. I think we can both name one off the top of our heads. Bob's favorite.
I mean, Bruce and Johnny definitely want this guy dead.
Oh yeah,
Bruce and Johnny want.
Which is funny because if either one of them get fired again, they'll make that phone call.
Think about how hard Laurinaitis' life is now compared to how it used to be. It used to be everybody wants to work at WWE, so all Laurinaitis had to go is, hey, come here, I'll give you a few $100,000, you come work for us. Now he's got people going up to going, well, Johnny, I could go to AEW. Tony Khan said, I'll pay. Oh, fuck that guy. Like his life must be miserable now.
All right, so I guess we can kind of loosely run through Dynamite here because this actually was a really good show.
It was.
We talked about Daniels and Danielson already. That was really fun. The post-match with Moxley. They've built this really well. This has been fun.
AEW is so good at like just throwing a random thing together, but quickly putting a story behind it that makes sense.
Right.
Like all this was Moxley comes back after rehab, has a couple matches. I think it was a couple before, and there's just Brian standing in the background.
That was literally after his first match.
The first one. All right, so it was the first one back. And there's just Brian clapping in the background. You're like, huh. Well, all right, so they're just throwing Moxley. Now, you think, well, no, AEW's, they could get away with just saying, hey, this is Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. That's it. But no, then they throw this wrench in where Brian's like, I don't want to fight you. I want to fight with you. And then starts to like, these kids don't get it like you and I do. And you're like, holy shit. And they've made this really compelling TV. And I am like, I'm torn who's going to win that match. I don't know. Like my gut, I think both my gut and my head tell me like two different things. It's like, well, Mox, no, like they're not going to have him lose just yet. But then something tells you, well, Brian needs the win a little bit after the whole Hangman thing. And then you figure, well, Brian's going to win because do they want to put them together for a little bit and see what happens? Like, are they going to build this, faction of killers? Ultimately, I think John's going to win. Because I
lean towards Brian's going to win. Either with help from some of these young guys who he's been talking about adding to his group, or what just said in the chat, and I think Joe brought that up first. We both talked about like the idea of Brian bringing Claudio in and being like, I don't anymore. I got this guy.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And you start with Brian and Claudio, and
then eventually what you do is you do the thing where Claudio gets sick of being Brian's sidekick.
Yep.
Not like not the MJF type thing, but like, eventually you split them, and then because I still think there's a real scenario that Claudio can become AEW champion. Like, I think if he comes in, which I don't think is a lock, by the way, but if he comes in, there's a real chance this fan base is going to embrace him to the point where they're going to try to make him the champion themselves as like a fuck you to everything that they've done with him.
And I wouldn't hate it. And I'll tell you what, Brian as AEW champion with a faction behind him is really interesting.
But then this too, Jack. Let me put this on the screen. Because you got that built in there too. Yep.
Claudio and Eddie. Oh my God. That was
that
the first
match.
thing I thought about, man. When that reply said, oh my God, Claudio and Eddie are going to be reunited.
Yeah. Eddie's tweet was so great. I talked to Joe about this. What you had, Eddie made that tweet about he doesn't have the balls to come to AEW. I don't remember exactly. That might have been what he said. I can't remember the exact wording. Was. And you had a group of people who think this is a shoot, and he actually hates Claudio.
I know.
Which is hilarious. And then you also had a group of people who don't even know the history and thought Eddie was just doing the AEW's tougher than WWE, WWE's bullshit. So then they were in his mentions mad too. And It was fucking hilarious, man.
It's just ignorant people, dude. And I'm not saying you have to like it, but do your fucking homework. Like,
Yeah.
all you have to do is like look up Claudio Castagnoli and Eddie Kingston, and you'll get shit all over the internet, and you'll see.
I mean, of course, I haven't seen most of it, but I know the story. And here's the other thing that I think is weird that wrestling fans do is, even if I didn't know the story, it takes 5 minutes.
Right.
You know, like Punk and Kingston, I didn't really know that history, which even a lot of that didn't play out on TV anyway. So,
yeah,
or whatever. Ring of Honor wasn't on TV, but you know what I mean.
No, but it was whispers we heard. I mean, I
right.
explained it. You guys asked me to explain to you what happened, and I did. But yeah, people can't take the time to friggin'.
Well, that's why, like, my wife didn't know that story, but she still loved that segment because they told you the story.
Yeah.
Like, if you just watched it, you figured out the story. Like, you know, if they do go to Claudio and King, I don't need a 10-minute video package explaining everything to me. I mean, like,
they took the time to tell you the story.
Yeah.
But then there's wrestling fans who are never happy. Okay. They took the time to tell you a story. They're mad. I saw a few weeks ago, here's something I didn't know. Like, WWE slapped those tag titles on Otis and Chad Gable. I had no idea that they were roommates and best friends on the U.S. Olympic national team.
Yeah, I didn't know that either till you just said it.
Oh, Matt, they slapped the tag title, like they slapped them together, those two, that Alpha Academy thing, right? I mean, you'll like, I know you don't want it, but you'll like, because it popped me a little bit. Apparently, on the U.S. national wrestling team, they were best friends, roommates. All the competitions they went to together. WWE never once mentioned that history on TV. And like, when I guess the night they won the tag titles, they were both crying in the ring while they were hugging each other. Like they broke character. Never once mentioned.
They didn't tell that. Okay, I see. I thought that was
they had that history together, like that close.
Interesting.
So close. I think Otis bought the house next door to Chad Gable.
Wow, I didn't know any of this.
They never once mentioned it after they slapped the tag titles on them. Never once.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just some wrestlers you can't make happy. You tell them the story and they find a way to be pissed off, or you don't tell them the story. And
Speaking of telling a story, I thought we keep going in. And again, Joe usually does this, so I'm definitely going to forget stuff, and I'm definitely not going to remember everything in order. But I think the Casino Battle Royal was next. I thought this was pretty good.
Was it just me, or were you sitting there too going, all right, how many goddamn tag teams are in this?
Well, they had said there was 15, but I definitely lost track.
Yeah, they kept coming out. The clock kept going. I'm like, God, how many friggin' teams are in this match?
I know. And then I thought they were done. Who was the last team out?
The last team was 2.0.
Yeah, 2.0. And that one felt like it was way longer than 90 seconds. So I'm like, okay, that's everyone. And then here comes the clock again.
Yeah, the clock just kept coming up. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Yeah. How many teams are in this?
But they did a good job with Darius here.
That was a cool surprise.
Yeah. I kind of had convinced myself they were going to win.
And again, what I love about AEW is that, yeah, Dante got a lot of shine, and deservedly so, as a singles performer while his brother was out over a year. You know, I mean, shit, man, the things they did for that, what Kenny Omega did for that kid, I'll never forget.
Yeah.
What Kenny gave that kid. Now, in another company, Darius would have been brought back and there would have been tension. And it's, I left and you became. No. You just put them back together. Say, okay, go continue about your business.
Yeah. And this is honestly, this is the best spot for Dante for now, for the next couple years.
He's 21 years old?
Yeah.
He'll have his put him back together with his brother, because I think it won't be long before they're tag team champions.
I could definitely see it, yeah.
And I think that they should. I mean, I think they should beat the Young Bucks for them.
It's going to be fascinating what they do with these tag titles over the next few months, because they really need to put those belts on Santana and Ortiz. at some point. The chat makes a good point, man. Top Flight as Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
Hey,
there you go.
Who's the Briscoes?
That'd be fun.
I almost had
Private Party's
Top
another
Flight one. Taking Top Flight or Private Party's a good one, but Top Flight taking the ROH titles from FTR.
Oh yeah,
would be. That's good. See, that's good. That's good shit.
I like that because I think FTR will win the Ring of Honor tag belts. If for nothing else, then they've almost made it part of their gimmick, collecting all those belts, and so that's another thing they can put on their jackets. And I think they're going to want that just to put it on their resume. But Santana and Ortiz, I did not, and they like it kind of looks like they might be doing something with 2.0. They kind of brawled there at the end, like they're way above that, man.
Yeah, if there's any we've said it, like AEW is not perfect. We give them their credit, like as much praise as we give them the criticism. They have tripped over themselves with Santana and Ortiz a few times, like more than once. And we as fans are kind of like, all right, figure it out. Because these guys should have been tag team champions by now. It's very stupid that they have not been. Like, stop doing this shit.
I will say that I think that little thing they did with Jericho, I think they're going to turn on Jericho for real.
You can see that coming a mile away that they're going to turn on him on Sunday.
Yeah. That match is fascinating too because you can talk yourself into either one because Jericho generally doesn't do short programs. So in theory, Jericho would win here and then King gets the win in the end. But you could also, like Santana and Ortiz costing Jericho the match and King maybe not being too thrilled about it because he wanted to win. You know what I mean? He wanted to win the big one on his own. Like there's so many things. That one's another one and that story's gotten better as it's gone along because you can tell Jericho actually cares about this one.
Yeah, we said that a long time ago. Remember?
Yeah.
Right on this show, we said Jericho's going to care about this. Like Jericho at this point, he just has that Randy Orton mindset, man. If he cares, it's gonna be fucking great. If he doesn't care, don't even turn on the channel.
What if Jericho wins the Ring of Honor World Championship?
Dude, because you're talking about belt collector.
Yeah.
I mean, he was never the WCW. Oh, yes, technically he was. You're
What's
right.
that? Oh, yeah, he had the WCW title.
In WWE.
In WWE, yeah.
So, Jericho would. If he could just say, I was champion literally everywhere.
This is the funniest idea of all time, and I'm fully on board with it.
I like that. That's good. That one's good. I like that one.
Chris Jericho is the Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
Can you see? I'm trying to picture Jericho adhering to the Code of Honor before every match.
Oh, God bless. The Jericho thing I think was next. He had a pretty good promo there.
Yeah, that was good. Because again, he cares.
Right. And now I can't remember anything what happened in order. I know the Punk MJF thing. I would put that probably in. Again, I'm not gonna be able to list them all, but I'd probably put that in the top 5 segments AEW's ever done.
Uh-huh.
Incredible.
That was great. I'll say it every week. I'll tweet it every week. I'll say it every week. Someone in a couple of years is going to pay Maxwell Jacob Friedman, either WWE or AEW, an absurd amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
And listen, that kid's worth every goddamn pay. Matter of fact, whatever it ends up being, he might be underpaid.
We had our frustrations with him a few months ago, which was funny because the frustrations are exactly what Punk mentioned in his promo. You know, the Darby Allin stuff, the Brian Pillman Jr. stuff. But, man, these last couple months, he's just locked in. This feud,
I saw someone tweet like that. I didn't get to talk to you guys last week, but that promo he did last week, somebody said it was like a fucking magic trick. Like, to pull something like that off in this era of professional wrestling, what Max did last week was...
It was funny because it's like, on one hand, we all knew it was horse shit, but at the same time, it was just good enough that you were like, because the magic of it is it's not horse shit. Everything he said is true.
Right.
But he's still the bad guy here because he's a dick.
And then calling back tonight to the Ring of Honor stuff on the night, like, just was...
He's done that a couple of times now, repeating Punk's promos from the past.
But I mean, what popped me extra hard, and I put the picture, I tweeted the picture out, because one of my favorite Ring of Honor moments was when Punk won the ROH title, when everyone knew he was going to WWE, and he turned heel that night, and he said the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
Yep.
And as fans were throwing trash into the ring, because like Ring of Honor, that was one of the few times they were able to pull the wool over everyone's eyes. Because we knew Punk was going to WWE. There's no way he's winning the title that night. And they fucking put the title on him. And I remember watching it. We were so confused.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck? Why are you doing that? And then when he cut that promo on those people, and for Max to throw it right back at the Snake.
And I was following along. I wasn't watching it, but I was following. I knew it was going on. But he retained a couple times, right? Like there was multiple times where every time he defended the title, everyone was like, "Well, he's losing here. This is it."
Yeah,
and then he would keep winning.
That Summer of Punk, Matt, they pulled that off so well because he just kept winning, and everyone, like the Meltzers, they're like, "No, this is not a work. He's going to WWE." And then when he signed the legitimate WWE contract on the ROH title, like that was so well done. And then he did. Then they finally he lost the title. And then he did the farewell match with Cole Cabana.
I saw a clip from BTE this week. And it's like, I think it's the Bucks, and they're in front of the AEW trucks just got redone. So they've got like the super, the wrestlers on them.
Yeah.
And Punk's on there, and then Colt walks by, and they do like a camera pan to Colt. It's like, man, that took some balls. That one ain't getting fixed, guys. Just
those. I don't know. Those two being backstage with each other all the time.
I think they just avoid each other. Big arenas, man. It's not as hard as people think to just.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
and Punk has his own locker room and shit. So.
Right. Yeah, I don't think we're ever going to see them do anything on screen together. I'll be stunned.
Man, oh man, though. I mean, well, at least for the hardcore fans, that would be one that would make me go, holy shit.
Yep.
What else happened?
Yeah, this is the Wardlow thing.
All right, go ahead.
My favorite thing they've done is within I think it's been about a month, though, maybe it's been a little bit longer, is they just quietly started having Wardlow's dominating matches being against heels instead of baby faces. They just made that switch.
Yep.
And now he's beating heels every time.
Yep.
It's so well done.
All right. I know everyone's probably waiting for me to mark out for Wardlow here, but I just got to say something. That Cesar Bononi guy. There's something with that dude. There's something.
You sure?
Yeah.
Have you seen him on YouTube?
But Matt,
I like the guy. I'm just.
Simple. It's very simple for a guy that looks like he does to just make him passable.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very, very simple. You just got to figure it out and I don't know. Every time I see the dude, I'm like, something's going to happen with this guy. Something good. I can't figure out what it is. But then watching him get squashed by Wardlow tonight.
Oh, it was awesome. And look, I think most of our chat here either one, has decided to humor me and not argue me with on this or disagrees with me, Spears fucking rules in the role he's in now.
I think it's good. I know we've given the guy shit in the past. We have. This is good. He's good at this.
Yes. And Wardlow's gonna beat the shit out of him.
Bob messaged me tonight. What the? This isn't like anything personal. Bob messaged me something about he always messaged me about he loves the Wardlow segments. That Bob O'Neill loves him like everybody else. You should. And he goes, Wardlow's going to kick the shit out of MJF and the chairman Sean Spears, and I cannot wait. I'm going to be hooting and hollering in my living room. And I said, buddy, it's going to be a legit murder scene when he gets his hands on those two. Now, the backstage segment.
Oh, this was good.
Max, which I like Matt. It's so funny. The two sides to Max and the way he deals with Wardlow. Like, we've always seen the smart ass side. Tonight, Max was so riled up and so feeling himself after the Punk thing, where he was just a straight up asshole to Wardlow.
Yep.
It was different than just being a smarmy little prick. He was being a fucking asshole to Wardlow.
I'm trying to figure out.
I have a question.
Okay.
He says to Wardlow, you don't work for AEW, you work for me.
Yeah.
Was there ever a Wardlow is all elite graphic?
There was not, but there's a lot of if we want to get to
because is this as simple, Matt, as it's like you don't get Tony Khan, but somehow somebody says, here, Wardlow, there's an official contract. And
basically what's gonna happen is like MJF's going to threaten to fire him, and then someone's going to come out and say, well, he's been signed to an AEW contract. Punk would make sense, but it depends on if they're moving away completely from that.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
there's logic holes in that because, like, you're right. They never did the Wardlow is all elite graphic, but he's on their roster with him. Yeah. Like, so if you want to get too technical with it, it's not a perfect. But I definitely think that's what's going to happen is they're going to announce that he's got an AEW contract. And then that's when he's going to beat the shit out of
he's going to fucking kill them.
Yeah. So MJF will like fire him or whatever.
But no, Max is so good at like his demeanor with Wardlow was different from every other time.
Yep. And back to the stare down they did with Spears, where Spears backed down and kind of did my favorite part was Spears is behind Wardlow. And you couldn't see, the chair was between them on the mat, and you couldn't see that. But if you were paying attention, you knew it was there.
Yep.
And there's a moment where Spears looks down at the chair, and you could tell he's thinking about it. And then Wardlow just turns his head. God, it was so good, man. Neither of them said a word.
Wardlow has really found himself.
Yes, he has.
He's found himself. And there's a lot of other young guys and girls on this roster that's going to happen to because of the way they do business.
Yep.
They're going to find Wardlow found himself and he knows what he is. They know what he is. And there's another guy who whenever his contract is up, pay me. They're going to pay me.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting
But Wardlow will be a little different because WWE would be up his ass.
Yeah.
So his situation will be a little different.
Yeah, this isn't a bad idea. Involving Smart Mark Sterling and trying to tell him the contract's expired. I like this. Kind of playing off those things they do.
Oh, people, that would be an all-timer.
That's good. I like what's they just put the all elite graphic up on the video board.
Or to further that though, make an announcement that MJF is going to face the hottest free agent in wrestling tonight on Dynamite.
Oh.
And have Max go on Twitter and go, I don't care who the fuck it is, tweet pictures of like WWE people released from WWE or shit like that. And it's fucking Wardlow. That place would go ballistic.
Yeah, that would be pretty incredible. The only thing the issue with that is you don't get the turn moment versus because you go right into a match, which they don't. Yeah, that's still. Yeah, they're right. If Tony tweeted out we've signed, some people would hate that, but God,
Oh yeah, some people
it would fucking rule. But yeah, I think. Oh yeah, there you go. Sean Spears is going to face the biggest free agent. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
And then he squashes Spears, and then MJF comes out, and then you put the graphic up on the board.
All elite. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, see, Wardlow did say this, but that's easy to say till that bag is in front of your face.
Yeah, look, while we don't watch the product, Matt and I both know like Vince McMahon has a history, and his history is getting what he wants if he really wants something.
I think
so. Let's just because
I'll be honest with you though, and again, Wardlow strikes me as a guy that Vince would give up on so fast. He strikes me as a guy that Vince would love 15 years ago, but yeah, I don't know. It'll be, we'll see what happens.
Well, nowadays we don't know what the fuck Vince likes, man.
Yeah, that's true, and this is true too. That may not even be Vince anymore. It's hard. One thing I'll tell
Wardlow.
Yeah, that's true. Vince probably doesn't even know who Wardlow is. That's accurate.
Well, I tell people all the time. Like my wife and I were having an in-depth conversation not too long ago about AEW versus WWE. I said, look, understand something. Vince knows fuck all about AEW. Said he doesn't know a goddamn thing. He probably doesn't want to because he doesn't care because he just made $1 billion.
I think there's guys in the WWE roster that Vince can't name.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
What? How long ago was it that he called? Shit. He called Shelton Benjamin the wrong name in a meeting.
Oh, I think he called someone else Shelton.
Yeah, he called someone else Shelton. He was like, good question, Shelton. They asked a question. He's like, good question, Shelton. He was like, wrong black guy. I'm not
Shelton. Can't remember who that was now. I remember that story, though.
But no, like Vince McMahon knows of AEW. But for all we know, he might think it's on the level of TNA back in 2002. He doesn't know.
Yeah, this story that he didn't know Luke Gallows was Festus.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. He didn't remember.
Yeah,
like he doesn't know this shit. But like we said before, guys like Johnny and Bruce, they're the ones that AEW has. Like they shake up a little bit,
right?
Because it makes
the thing that. Hard. It's important to remember, and we're both AEW fans. Pretty much everyone in the chat's AEW fans. AEW is not winning a bidding war.
No,
with WWE. If people are going to stay in AEW, it's going to be because they want to stay in AEW. WWE is always going to offer more money. Now you got to work more, so there are elements that you have to weigh.
And again, it's different circumstances. Let's say in 2 years, MJF does decide, I'm taking WWE's money. WWE gives out anywhere from 3 to 5 year contracts.
Yeah.
At the end of that WWE contract, how old is Max? 29?
Yeah, maybe 30, yeah.
29, 30?
Yeah.
So then he can go, all right, I'll take the WWE bag for as long as I can get it. And then surely Tony Khan will have me back if I want to come back.
That is the one thing I'll say, and it's I know it can be frustrating, especially if it's a guy you really like, but it'll actually be a good thing for wrestling if you start to see some movement back and forth.
I said this to Joe when we did the Cody show. I said, this is good. This is what we wanted when AEW started. I don't want to sit here and just bang the drum for AEW. I want some of these guys to go the other way and give me a reason to turn on Raw again. Give me a reason to turn on SmackDown again. if Sean comes out with a report on Monday, all right, Cody's in the building, I'm going to turn on USA at 8 o'clock. And you say, okay, you got me. If MJF leaves or somebody, MJF's going to be on SmackDown, you got me. And also the big point, what do you do with them if you're WWE? Make this interesting. But you're right. Like this, it can't be one-sided. Right. It can't be a one-way street. Like these guys are going to have to go the other way.
And that's like, I don't care how good your creative is. Like, you know, for example, let's say MJF, just as an example. Let's say he wrestles till he's 45. That would mean he's on AEW TV for 20 years, unless he leaves for a while. Like,
and hey, we're all wrestling fans. We're old school wrestling fans. The territory days, you left to keep fresh.
That was part of I think that's part of the issue.
You left to keep
with
fresh.
WWE. Like their creative is what it is, but it's also like the same guys who were on TV for so long that it's like, you know, Randy Orton's been on top there for.
And that was
18 years.
That was part of the reason some people gave me blood. I wanted Randy to go to AEW when it started. And when Cody called him and said, you know, I know his contract was up shortly after AEW started or whatever. And Cody was like, just think about it. I was kind of like, I want Randy to go to AEW. Number one, he's really good. When Randy cares about something, he's one of the best of all time when Randy Orton cares about something. So if you put him in a new environment with all these new people to work with, like Randy will be off the charts. I wanted him to leave.
Yeah.
But I get why he didn't, because Vince was never going to let him leave. But no, we need that territory aspect of like, there are like just the cult-like behavior of like, you want these guys to be AEW lifers. That's not good for the industry. It's just not. Like some of these guys that make them stars in AEW are going to have to go to Vince.
The other thing that you have to remember too is there's always context. Like we're talking about these people leaving right now would suck. It may not suck as much by the time they actually leave. Right. You know what I mean? Like Britt's a perfect example. Joe and I have the same feeling about Britt Baker right now. I don't dislike Britt Baker. I'm ready for her to take a break. And like I'm ready for her to be off TV for a couple months. Like,
I mean, I get not every like Roddy Piper really did have the blueprint down. And the only person who ever followed that blueprint was Chris Jericho.
Yeah, he would leave when it was time to leave.
The only person who followed that blueprint. But at the same time, though, Piper did Hollywood, so he had something else to do. Jericho had the band, he had something else. Like, I get that some of these guys just don't have something else to do. But, like, Piper was the blueprint. When the territory era went away, and it was just like, just WWF, Piper was like, all right, well, I'm going to leave for a few years. When are you going to be back? I don't know. A couple years.
Yeah, and it's hard when it's your primary source of income, but creatively, it's a good idea sometimes to go away for a little bit.
You just got to disappear for a while. It's like what, like I think you and I were always on the same page with like Brock Lesnar being a part-time champion, or like not on TV every week. I didn't mind it.
I didn't necessarily love that he was when he was the champion, only because they didn't elevate the secondary title to make it matter more while he wasn't there.
That's a different. Yeah, that's.
If they'd have done that, then I think that would have been really more interesting.
Yeah.
Someone Demon Grin said this, and we talked about this. Joe and I talked about this. And he pointed out this is more of a prediction than like a scoop or anything. That wouldn't totally stun me either.
People, can you imagine how mad people would be?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how pissed off people would be?
The thing I would say, if that did happen, if he did bring Cody back in the fold and Cody was running Ring of Honor, if Cody's going to be on the TV as a wrestler, that immediately becomes less interesting to me. If Cody's going to run Ring of Honor, but he's not, like he's Triple H running NXT, now I'm interested.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't really want to see. Cody's Cody's a perfect example. I like Cody, but I was 100% fine with him leaving.
And again, but it's like I said, I know it shocked a lot of people because I think Cody's going to WWE. I think he's signed already. I don't think WWE would be throwing out all these teases. I think Cody's in. I do think he's in.
It's interesting. Probably.
But I think Cody was the perfect guy to make this move.
They've been teasing Johnny Gargano on Twitter too. Like they're doing all kinds of teases like that. So I don't know. I saw Sean reported something like they've internally WWE's moved from when he comes in to if he comes in, so they're not as confident anymore. But who knows? He could show up Monday or Friday.
Cody's only 36. Take the WWE money for a few years and go back to AEW.
I agree.
Just take the friggin' WWE money and you know they're going to make you a world champion. There's no doubt Cody's going to be a world champion this time around because WWE is going to want to prove a point. So they'll convince Vince that they got to strap him up. Take the money and go back to AEW.
I mean, they're unifying the titles for no reason because they're just going to bring in another world title immediately. So
I said that they're unifying the titles and then saying, well, but because we have contracts with 2 different networks, we got to have 2 world champions. What?
So bring Big Gold back and Cody can hold that.
Bob O'Neill said, wouldn't it be something if Cody just walked out onto Raw with the big gold belt? Said I'm the champion. I was like, that'd be the most Cody thing ever, and I love it.
I did see Johnny also said today though he's not going to wrestle for months. He's going to do signings here and there, but it sounds like he's not going to wrestle again.
The face of if I saw correctly tonight, there's no like surprise entrant for the face of the Revolution ladder match, right?
There doesn't appear to be. It doesn't mean it won't still happen, but there does not appear to be, and I don't think that's a great spot to debut someone unless they're going to win.
Right.
So,
I mean, yeah, I guess for this time around, you just count Keith Lee as the surprise dude.
Christian, I'm so glad Christian's coming back. He's not coming back, but he's wrestling. He has wrestled forever, man.
Yeah, well, I know he hasn't, but like, I don't know. With his neck issues, that doesn't really.
Oh yeah, I mean, but yeah, I get it. My thing is his age. If he can go right now, then it's like, why are you wasting 4 months of what a limited run that he's going to have? But
I mean,
it's been more than 4 months. He hasn't wrestled since it's been 6 months. So,
or watch Edge. I watched a clip of that Edge AJ Styles segment.
Did Excalibur say it was 7 again tonight, guys?
Was it?
I didn't hear him say it tonight, but doesn't mean he didn't. He said it in passing last week, but nobody knew if that was like he did on Rampage when he was doing his mile a minute thing. Reese is saying he did say it tonight. So okay, there probably is a Joker.
It's actually scary. Okay. Oh, he did say there's. Oh,
apparently, yeah. So it'll probably be Swerve or Claudio.
Might be Johnny.
I don't think it's going to be Johnny. Although it would make sense for him to say that if he's actually going to.
Yeah, might be it might be Johnny if there is a 7. Excalibur at that mile a minute thing. He's just so good at that. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It's actually
that. Well, the Rampage. Of course, the Rampage one was taped, so I wonder how many takes it took him to do that. Like, did he do that in one take, or did it take him?
I don't know, but he's so good at it.
Yeah. Swerve. Supposedly, Swerve's contract starts the
first week of March.
So it could be him. I'm just like, I'm not debuting someone there unless they're going to win, and I'm probably not debuting him and having them win unless they're going to win the TNT title. You think the TNT title changes on Friday?
Yes,
I do too. I just can't. I think Andrade's going to win.
I was just going to say when I saw the graphic before, I said, "All right, this is where Andrade is going to get."
Yeah, and it's live this time, so they don't have to worry about the spoiler stuff. And
I mean, because like if Swerve, I'll tell you this: if Darby Allin wins the TNT title on Friday, Shane Strickland is he's going to win the ladder match.
Yeah, makes sense.
If Darby wins that title, Shane is going to, because of their history on the Indies, Shane's going to be the surprise and he'll win. And boy, if you guys haven't seen Shane and Darby matches, holy shit.
And yeah, I know that I know this happened, and there's a very real chance I'm just saying I wouldn't do it. I'm not debuting someone in that spot unless they're winning. That's just how I would do it. It doesn't mean that's what they're going to do.
Unless you have a good story built in for them that starts during that match. That's the only
I understand this logic, but I'm pretty sure that this triple threat on Rampage is going to get more time than they would get on the pay-per-view. But I certainly understand that argument. I can't argue with you there.
Yeah, because AEW really loads up these pay-per-views, man.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap.
God, this would rule. I thought about that. I think I said that at one point. This would rule, man. Talk about a history there.
And it's good that we could, like, we're going to know, like, they're so close together. Friday, we're going to know who the TNT champion is going into Revolution.
Right.
Like 2 days before. So, yeah, you're right. Like, if Andrade wins, then, yeah, look for Johnny on Sunday.
You could do Keith Lee against Andrade, though, too. That would be awesome.
That'd be good. By the way, how hilarious is Ricky Starks doing the Keith Lee voice?
Oh, dude, it's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, I get you on this one. I can't disagree with you there. 100%. You're right on that one. That breaks, man. That picture-in-picture is impossible to watch. I don't know. I can't believe anyone actually watches that.
I hate picture-in-picture, man.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's better. It is better than just going fully commercial, but like, I can't focus on it.
I'll admit, I do not watch the wrestling. I don't. I just I do something else. I look at my daughter. I talk to my wife. I don't do anything till the commercial's off. I can't. I don't know what it is. I can't do it.
It's been there's been exceptions, like Hangman Danielson. I tried to pay attention, and even that was still hard, but I tried. Yeah, I don't know. You could do the payoff here. I think Sheeta's in Japan. I could be wrong. I know she's going back to Japan. Maybe she's here right now. I think Sheeta's got to be the payoff to that thing.
You would think, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about the Serena Deeb challenge. It sucks. What else do we have left? The main event, 6-man. Are you excited for Cole versus Page? Are you have any interest in this at all?
Not as much as I thought I would.
Yeah.
It's weird.
There's just other feuds that are better built, right?
Other feuds that are better built, and that was going to be part of the problem. I don't think this feud was given enough time to breathe.
I just the women's tag. We'll come back to that.
Well,
it was good.
Yeah, I don't think Cole Hangman has been given enough time. It seemed rushed.
Yeah,
unlike AEW, it seemed. I
think part of why it's rushed though is because Hangman's just going to beat him this time. This isn't going to be the full-fledged.
Yeah, Adam Cole's not winning the title on Sunday, and
he better not be.
which is weird because I convinced myself that Adam Cole's the man to beat him for that title, and now here we are, and I'm like, yeah, he ain't winning that title on Sunday.
No,
very strange.
I'm not sure. I said this to Joe, and I firmly believe this. If I'm Tony Khan, I don't have an ending to this Page title run penciled in yet. I leave that belt on him until the crowd tells you it's time to take it off of him. Like if that's a year and a half, fine. Like I'm sticking with it for as long. And the second there's a hint of the crowd being like, okay, we're ready for this to end.
Yeah, it's ready to end.
Then you do it. I have no interest. I like Adam Cole. Most of the people that appear on this channel don't.
Which I don't understand. I I don't know. I'm sorry. It just boggles my mind how you do not like Adam Cole as a professional wrestler.
Match is going to be great. And I thought, like, one thing that I forgot, I knew they had a ton of history together, but I hadn't even factored in the chemistry they have together.
Yeah.
So the match is going to be great. And then there's going to be, again, we don't know how tired the crowd will be by the end of this show, but there's a chance this crowd's going to be big time for this match.
One of those weird things where a company like AEW, all you want of them is like, hey, title match always goes on last.
Yeah.
But here's a rare thing where you're like, maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it shouldn't.
Punk and MJF could headline this thing easily.
Yeah, it's like maybe we should make an exception this time.
Yeah.
Because you're right. What's going to happen is Punk and MJF are going to give us an old school, classic, bloody dog collar match that's going to have everyone losing their minds. And then everything after them is going to drop off just a little bit.
I mean, it won't be the Stadium Stampede's headlined 2 pay-per-views, so it wouldn't be the first time the title match.
But I think I saw Tony say on the media call that he confirmed that's the main event.
Yeah, it probably will be.
So.
All right, back to that women's tag that we forgot to talk about. This was really good. I thought the end of this match confirmed what I can't decide is if it's something I'm upset about or not, which is that Britt's winning this match at Revolution.
I don't know. AEW's they're pretty good at not tipping the hand like WWE.
Here's the thing that somebody in the chat pointed it out to us. I can't remember what show it was because it all blurs together. But the second they pointed it out, we all kind of had that light bulb moment. 2 weeks after Revolution, they're in San Antonio, Texas. Thunder Rosa's front and center on that poster. You could headline that Dynamite with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker in a cage for the title. And that's where Thunder Rosa wins the belt.
That would be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think Thunder Rosa should win this match on Sunday.
That's I go back and forth on that because part of me is like, that would be an incredible moment. And Oracle pointed this out to me in a DM tonight. It's almost a year to the day.
Yeah.
From their lights out match.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but then I really hate using a pay-per-view to set up a TV match. I hate it.
Because it's a very simple process. Your TV sets up your pay-per-view, not the other way.
But I will say that if Thunder Rosa wins that belt in San Antonio in a cage match, then it's not going to sour it for me at all. It'll be awesome.
No, I'd be fine with it then.
Yeah. But look, again, she may just win on, you're right. They don't always telegraph stuff like that. She may just win. But that was like the immediate alarm bell went off because we had already kind of had that San Antonio idea in our head. Cage match just makes so much sense though. And they both had mentioned they wanted to do it.
And they've already done the lights out. Do a regular match on Sunday. Yeah, cage match would be.
It would be the first women's cage match in AEW.
Main event, put that shit on last. The place going nuts when Thunder Rosa wins the title. She'll be hanging for, she'll climb to the top of the cage. Yeah.
Sitting on the cage with the belt. Yep. Probably bloody.
It never ceases to amaze me how that woman gets bigger pops than 95% of the male roster.
Yep. She's
everywhere they go. Everywhere. Jacksonville, Texas. No matter where they are, Thunder Rosa, when that music hits, those people go nuts.
Yep. Thunder Rosa pop is a real thing.
Then I think the only thing we forgot from this show tonight was a little backstage thing with Jade and Ty, which... Did you see that quote from Brian on Jade when they asked him this week?
Yeah.
About working with her? And he's like, I'm jealous. Like, I wish I had that kind of presence. Like that girl... That girl is a star. Like it's not hyperbole. It's not. She's a special. And Brian helping her figure out this wrestling thing, like with her skills and her God-given gifts and Brian's brain, I've said it before. They're creating a monster.
You saw. I've been harping on this for a while. You saw her confidence level change when they put that belt on her.
Yep.
It was like she said, "Okay, they're really behind me now. I got to back." And she actually said this in the Grapsody interview she did. It's like, okay, this is a challenge. I have to live up to this title. I'm the first champion. I have to live up to it. She's not the best wrestler on the roster yet. No one's claiming that. But she's pretty good. Like, she's living up to what she needs to do for where she is. She's not, she's not ready for a 20-minute match. No one's claiming she is, but most of her, since she's won that belt, most of her matches have been solid.
Yep.
Which is all she needs to do. Just keep getting better. Have solid matches. She comes off like a star. She stands out in that company for a number of reasons. This is a real thing. Before, we were all like terrified, like they can't put that belt on her. She's not ready. They can't put that belt on her. We were wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong. I was wrong. I'll be the first. We collected. We were wrong. Yep. We were wrong. She's proven us wrong. Like that girl she's something. And they just had like she is just she's a mainstream star.
She could be for sure.
She's a mainstream star. And it's just,
I would definitely have her out there more promoting the company.
That's what I think they have to do. You got to start getting her out there.
Yeah.
Get her all the interviews you can. Get her all the, like that story she told about WWE. I want to go to those guys and be like, how stupid do you feel right now for putting her through that bullshit?
In her Grapsody interview, she talked about how important it is to lift everybody up and be positive. And it was like she went on like a 2 or 3 minute, it's not a rant, that's not the right word, but monologue, whatever you want to say. And it's like, man, like this woman's likable.
Yep.
And that was interesting because she wrestled a couple heels there too. Now she's not now, but yeah, she's like on the cusp of, you could maybe turn her.
I think eventually, as she gets better, and as she keeps improving, the crowd's going to turn.
The interesting thing, though, is like I think Statlander's the perfect person to beat her. I don't know when that is.
Well,
that's like a great physical matchup, the two of them.
Yeah, but during the feud, can we just have Statlander like not talk? I mean, if we could just do that, then all right, I'm in. Because again tonight, even though she didn't fucking make fun of Layla for being adopted again, but like
it feels like she's turning heel, which she's not. I don't think
that was what an inadvertent all-time moment that was.
Yeah,
that Lander just like, wait, what? You're the baby face. Who?
Yep.
Shut up.
They're wrestling on the buy-in. That'll be fun. Hook and QT's on the buy-in. I honestly thought that was going to be on them. I thought that would be like a filler, not a filler match, but like a.
How long does that match go? Does QT really do the business?
2.5.
Okay.
Maybe 3. I mean, that could be the match that they flesh it out a little bit more. It's hard because in ring, QT is probably the perfect guy to have him go a little bit longer with.
Yeah.
But character-wise,
that's the thing.
May not be the best person.
Hook should just go in there and fucking steamroll him.
Yeah.
Just steamroll him and make a point. Man, where is Hook a year from now? When we're sitting here, probably hopefully the three of us, maybe Joe's not sleeping. Next year's Revolution, looking forward to Double or Nothing afterwards. Where's Hook?
God, that's a fascinating question because it's, we're going to need to see him do longer matches to see. I'm going to say, I don't think he's won a title yet. Actually, he's Ring of Honor World Champion.
Hook, man, you know. So many options with this ROH stuff.
Yeah.
So many options, so many roads you can go down.
Like Hook is the FTW champion. That makes a lot of sense too. Hook's the perfect example though. If he's Ring of Honor champion, he's still got to be on TV.
Yeah.
Like you can't only be on whatever Ring of Honor is going to be on, unless Ring of Honor is on TV. But who knows? You know, I'm still a big proponent of Tony Khan presents Ring of Honor Wrestling on TBS at 10:05 a.m. on Saturday mornings. I would be a big fan of that, but we'll see what happens. I still think they should bring back Saturday morning wrestling.
Man,
it's a tape show, so if you don't have to watch it at 10. Everyone has DVR, but
dude, when we were little, that was the shit, man.
It was, man. And most of the people, like, I don't really get much of a response usually when I say this because the chat, most of them are too young, so they don't have like that. It doesn't bring that nostalgia feeling to them like it does you and me. Yeah, Saturday morning wrestling, man. That used to be
I wish, like you people think. I wish your Monday nights you were waiting for Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon on Primetime Wrestling, where they just showed you random ass house show clips. All right, we're gonna go to the Boston Garden. We're at Tito Santana. It's Jake Roberts.
The talking stuff was the best part of the show. That's what you looked forward to.
Oh my God. And then being so pissed off when they were like the Westminster Dog Show. It's like, fuck them dogs.
Yeah.
Where's my wrestling?
When Bobby Heenan had the Real World's champion in that studio, and you just like, what the fuck is happening? Why does Bobby Heenan have the WCW title?
I'll never forget that, man.
Yeah.
I mean, seeing Ric Flair, like you guys don't.
I was just old enough that was like my first holy shit, what is happening moment in wrestling. Because I started watching in 91, early 91.
You could walk into a grocery store at any given time, or Kmart, or anything like that, when Matt and I were kids, and you would see a Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Wrestler, whatever. 99 times out of 100, it had something on the cover of Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan. Who would win? The NWA champion versus WWF champion. You're like, wow, man, I wish when Flair strolled into that studio with the fucking belt.
Yep.
And then it was so cool as when I got older and I learned what actually happened.
I know that made it even better, right?
Fucking $25,000 deposit.
Yep.
And Flair's like, fuck you, I'm taking the belt.
Him winning the WWF title in that Royal Rumble.
It was crazy.
Oh, man. That's the kind of stuff that, like, if you didn't know it happened, and, like, the WWF of the last 10, 15 years, you would never believe it happened.
No.
That he brought Ric Flair in and then gave him the belt in the fashion he gave him the belt.
And then Rick calling him. Vince didn't even call Rick.
Yeah.
Jim Herd started fucking up WCW. Rick called Vince and just said, all Rick said was, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Vince said, all right, I'm ready to come.
That was a great run. And it's one of those things too, where it's like, we were kids, so it's kind of even hard for me to believe it was only like a year and a half, not even that. Because it felt, time feels different when you're a kid.
It did feel longer, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did feel longer. And to also think that Ric Flair was 41 when he won that Royal Rumble and the WWF title, he was 41. So like when you see people complain even these days, this guy's 38. It's like, yeah, and like what? What's your point?
35 plus is your prime, man. Like,
I mean, how many times did I used to hear even before 2016? This is before 2016. AJ Styles is too old.
Yeah.
No, he's past and that dude has just become like Vince McMahon's right-hand man, which is just mind-boggling. It blows my friggin' mind that AJ Styles has become like an untouchable presence in WWE.
This is an interesting thing too, because on my initial instinct is to agree with you. But then if you actually think about it, like they feuded for months back then, man, because there wasn't like, it's weird because I don't disagree with you, but at the same time you think about it and it's like, they did, Savage and Flair, they feuded for 9 months.
Yep.
Like that feud kept going. Wrestling just felt different back then. Part of it's just because you were a kid, but then part of it's the presentation. You didn't have, it wasn't weekly television where you're advancing the story every single week. You had squash matches, you had it's just, so I'm going to tie in something we talked about on Monday, and then we're going to get out of here. I want to get your thoughts on this. So one of the questions we had on Monday during the 12-hour stream was, what happens if Bret Hart goes to the story of Bret Hart in 1992 where he was going to go to WCW and show up at Clash of the Champions. It turned out his contract wasn't up. All-time great story.
Yep.
The question was, what happens if Bret did go? And what we settled on was that the person who wins the title from Flair instead of Bret is Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. That they still do that babyface turn, but Hennig gets the belt.
It's probably Kurt. And then Kurt drops it. And then they immediately find someone to take it off Kurt.
Right. Yeah, he wouldn't have had been a long champion.
Yeah, like there's no way Vince would have looked at Kurt. Vince would have looked at Kurt as the perfect transitional champion.
Yeah.
No, that was a good question, and that was a good answer by you guys. It was definitely.
He probably loses it to Yokozuna at WrestleMania.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Do you remember? I remember learning that Bret beat Flair for the title.
Yeah.
I remember that on a Saturday morning when they played the clip.
Yep.
They're like, "Oh, we have a new WWF champion." I'm like, "What?" And that was when we were little kids, you started to love Bret.
Yeah.
And it was kind of shocking. Seemed early. Like you didn't think Bret was going to become WWE. Like he was like your staple Intercontinental champion.
Right.
And all of a sudden they were just like, nope, he's WWF champion now. And of course, like you and I didn't know about the steroid trial and everything that Vince was going through and shit like that. So but like I was so shocked, and because Bret was the coolest, man. I don't think people ever understand how cool Bret Hart was when you were a little kid.
Oh yeah, he was.
Bret Hart was the coolest. Like he showed that, like us little kids, we didn't need the big bad Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Bret was just a cool son of a bitch.
Do you remember? There was a WWF magazine where they talked about the hypothetical Bret versus Hogan match.
Yes.
And it was like one page was Bret and the other page was Hogan. It was like tail of the tape. And then, of course, it never happened because Hogan wouldn't lose to him. But
they were going to do that at SummerSlam 93, right? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
They were going to do, after Hogan won the title. They wanted Hogan to win the title from Yokozuna and Bret to take it from him at SummerSlam 93. They shot the promos.
See, I didn't know they did that.
Okay, yeah, they went to Stamford. They flew them both to Stamford, and they shot the promo videos. They even, I think, shot a picture of Hogan handing Bret the title.
Wow.
That they were going to run. And Hogan, I'm not doing it. And doesn't work for me, brother. By the way, before we go, did you see that the exchange between the Bucks and Kevin Nash on that Instagram post?
No.
Oh, buddy. So the Bucks post that picture on Instagram when they were in Connecticut last week.
Yeah.
The Bucks went to WWE headquarters and took a picture.
Yeah.
And Kevin Nash replied, "Everyone wants to play for the Yankees." Nick Jackson goes, "Not if the Red Sox are offering just as much money to work less time." Nash replies, "You learned well, young grasshopper." And then Nick Jackson goes back. He goes, "We learned from the best."
That's outstanding.
I mean, like their Nash even had to appreciate it because it was like Nash was being like a WWE smartass to start.
Yeah.
And then when Nick came with that quip, Kevin had to be sitting there with his phone going, "Okay, that's good, Nick.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that was a good one. That was good."
Well, we took an impromptu stream and we proceeded to go an hour and 45 minutes because, of course, we did.
No, this kept me up because I have to feed the baby tonight because my wife wanted to sleep. My wife usually does it. We usually feed the baby at 12:30 a.m.
Yeah.
My wife likes doing it sometimes. I don't know why she's a sicko. She likes doing it. But tonight she was like, "I'm really tired." I was like, "Okay." That's why. So then Dynamite's going on and I text Joe. I was like, "Are you doing a show tonight? Because I need something to keep me awake. I can't just sit here and stare at the TV." Yeah, his text went green. Oh, God. Oh, God. Thankfully, Matt came to the rescue.
Yeah, Jack texted was like, "Why isn't there a post show tonight?" Like, I was like, "Well, if you want to do it, I'll do it. Let's go." That's why we said impromptu because here we were. I don't remember. I think Joe's doing the TEW thing tomorrow. If he's not, he can just get mad at me for plugging something that's not happening.
So
I
Joe's
really
going to
don't
wake
remember.
up and just see that we did a show.
Yeah, that's 100% going to happen. I know we'll be back Friday night at 11:05 p.m. for the world famous late night grin.
Maybe I'll be with you guys on Friday. I don't think I mean. Oh no, I won't. No, I friggin' won't. I have college basketball out the ass on Saturday, so I'm gonna sleep.
Good Lord, J Shell's here. Why is she awake? This is perfect timing because we were literally just wrapping up the show and we're about to leave.
I just wanted to say hi. I saw you guys. I was like, I want to say hi.
Hello.
I've never been on a show with Jack Crosby.
Why are you awake so late?
I just did another stream. I just did a Public Enemies like Dynamite post show thing. So.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, did you think it was a good show?
It was okay. I'm still mad that Top Flight didn't win. That's why I'm just like,
fair. I don't think you guys have met yet, right?
No,
Jay Shell's. We've never done a show together.
Yeah,
because I'm never around.
Jay Shell, this is Jack Crosby. He's 49 years old.
37. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, you're younger than me. That's the best.
That's the best part of the bit.
All right,
Jack.
We were wrapping up, so
yeah.
Thanks for stopping by and saying hi.
Yeah. Bye, guys. I want to do my run-in. That's all.
Shell, we'll do a show together soon. I promise.
Oh, okay. Oh my God, you committed now. Can I get a pinky promise?
As soon as college basketball is over.
Jack's not putting his pinky up to the screen.
Please, Jack.
I will. As soon as although I told you guys when college football season was over, I'd be around more, and that was a lie. I work too much.
My God, look at this.
Oh God.
It is so funny because like I started this with you guys when we started this.
Yeah.
Then I had a kid.
Yeah.
And then
great timing, dude.
We started this like 3 weeks before she was born.
Yeah. You were on 2 episodes.
We started this like 2 weeks before she was born. Then she's born, and I'm like, oh shit. No, I did a show with you guys the week she was born.
Yes, you did.
My wife was like, "You need a break. Go do a show with those."
I remember that. Yeah, she basically
night.
kicked you out and said, "Go do a show."
Yeah, she kicked me out. She's like, "You need a break. You need to go do something."
Jack, have you seen our new outro?
No.
Okay, well, you're about to see it in real time, folks. Thanks for joining us for what turned into an almost 2-hour impromptu show. Have a good night. All hail. Stay hydrated. Goodbye.